Hi, I'm Pete and you are at cncfoam.com again. Today I want to talk a little bit about loading your first part. In our other videos we've discussed on how to set up your machine, your material block, and now we are going to load our first part. We're gonna keep it simple for now, so we'll choose single part and we are going to pick a file. Let's see, let's do a flower. So in this case it's an SVG, loading the SVG in, and we're clicking on generate cut. I'm going to pause the animation for now so we can kind of see what is all going on screen. Now if I rotate the machine a little bit and I zoom in, you can kind of almost make out that there's a part in there. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that the part has also been cut off because the big, in this case blue transparent box, is our material block and our part is currently outside of our material block. So you see on the green outlines here that that's our original part, and the yellow part is where the part actually meets the material block. So in this case we're going to have to either move the material block or we're going to have to move the part. First thing we will do is move the part, and we're going to move it backwards into the machine a little bit. We can do that by setting an offset. So first I'm going to do an X offset. Let's maybe do 2000 is a lot. Let's do 200. So when we look at the other side of the machine, we can see that this is the X axis running from front to back, and we've just moved the X side 200 millimeters towards the back. Now you see that the U side, because we have two independent towers on this particular machine, is still at 0. That's why the part is now angled. So let's move this to 202, and now the part is straight again. Just to be on the safe side, you normally want to move your part up a little bit, but in this case we want to move it up quite a bit because you see that the bottom part is also cut off. So 50 is not enough, 150, well, let's do 200. And 200. Oh, here we go again. So now you can see that the flower is all the way in the material block. Flower is a little bit small, so we can also scale it. So let me first scale it universally. The link here is checked, so if I change one value, all the other values will change too. I can do that in percentage, or I can do that in millimeters. Let's do millimeters right now and make the flower 250 millimeters wide in the X direction. Now you see all the other values are popping up too. Now you don't have to do that universally. You can also say, like, listen, I want to keep the X and the Y the same, but I want to make U and V a little bit bigger. So let's make that 220%, and let's do that 220% too. And then you see that the flower is kind of tapering a bit. Maybe it's a bit hard to see because there's not an awful lot of change. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, 300 and 300. You can also kind of see what's going on here. Yeah, the left side is a small flower, right side is a bit bigger flower, and we can only do that because we have a 4-axis cutter loaded up right now, actually a 5-axis even, see here, but the rotation in this case is not going to do much. So really it's a 4-axis machine. X and Y are running independent of U and V, so that's why we can do shapes like these. Now the offset doesn't have to be the same on both sides either, so I can also offset U and V a little bit more than I did X and Y, and then you see that I get a shape that is growing in size but is also having different coordinates on the left and the right side. Now if I run the simulation, you see that it starts at 0 and it's got quite a large lead in right now because I didn't really pay attention to where I put it in the material block. And it's going fairly slow right now, so let's speed it up a little bit. 25 times the 12 millimeters per second that we set here. And if we do run the machine at 12 millimeters per second, we see down here that the total cut would be 9 minutes and 15 seconds. It's a pretty big flower and a pretty big cut, so yeah, that takes almost 10 minutes. And then when it's all done, this is pretty much the shape you're gonna get. That's a bit of a weird shape in this particular case. There are situations where you might want to have a tapered part, but this is just for demonstration, so you can kind of see what all is possible. One way where you would want to maybe have something slanted and beveled is like with a helical bevel gear. I've already done a video on that, but just to show you really quick. Do it a little bit faster so we can see the end result. And you can see here that you're going from big to small, and you're even twisting the part while you're doing that. So for this you really need a 4-axis cutter too. I didn't show you the rotation up here actually. I forgot about that. That's really bad, so I'll do really quick. I'll load my flower again. Oh, this is overlapping, that's not good. I will do a 400. Oh, should have left the checkbox on, but just to show you what's going on, I can drag this all the way out so we see a little bit better. See, this is our flower. It's still a bit cut off here because we didn't do the offset. But if we rotate the UV side now by 30%, you can kind of see that we're getting a twisted flower. It's hard to see. We can hide the boxes here. And there we go. And you can see a little bit better how a twist would work. And you can also see here on the left and the right side that we have a big flower here and a small flower there. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can do with very simple shapes, and just by scaling, rotating, or offsetting a part in a 4-axis CNC foam cutter. So if you have any particular questions about cncfoam.com, or you want to have a video on a particular topic, let me know in the comments and I'll send you a quick video on YouTube, and then we'll take it from there. I will see you next time.